I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Merry Delta. Countess Luann is on the show today, and we talk about elegance, housewives, and turkey testicles. But first, do you want to see me go off? Because I think you want to see me go off.
Oh.
Mom!
Are you a lady like me? Introspective, beautiful. Oh, are you intellectual like me? Beguiled by a bargain? You like wild times? Oh, like me? Are you serving the community like me? Well, if you are, then you must be very Delta. I'm Delta Work, and this is Very Merry Delta, a luxury public access podcast and YouTube talk show where I look gorgeous, speak extemporaneously, and invite fascinating people to sit on the couch and get very merry Delta. Very Merry Delta is for the woman who doesn't just wear a shawl, she wears a ruana. But first, let's get into some things that are very Delta. Where is my PR package? I've been waiting for days, for weeks, for months, for years, for PR packages that just don't seem to arrive. I sometimes don't know how to get my name on the list, so that could be part of it. Maybe it's just I'm not putting myself out there for it. But there are PR packages in the past that I've received, little tiny small things, and then somehow I don't get anything else. But then I see all these bugs, all these boogers out there getting all of these PR packages, and they show it and they're like, oh, I got a PR package from so-and-so. Oh, so many things. And they like throw it down. They're not concerned. You know, I spent a good 2 years of the pandemic praising and talking and singing the beauty of so many things that I would purchase. You know what I'm saying? Like things that I would find and I would say, hey, I bought this at Dollar Tree. I bought this at Nordstrom. I bought this from wherever. Isn't it wonderful? Here's the things about it. Here's a perfume that maybe smells completely like butt, but I'm going to tell you how great it smells. I'm going to find the positive aspects of this. And I would think somehow that would pay off. I would think eventually, you know, people say, oh, it's always the person who's really nice. It's always the person who's really sweet about things. It's always the person who plays well with others that's going to get. And you know what? That's not true. It's the bugs. It's the people who are so arrogant, cocky, and that are going to get all that thrown to them. And they're like, oh, I just throw it in a drawer for Christmas presents. I would love to talk about your products. I would love to sing the praises. You're all out there sharing these videos, talking about, is this very Delta? Is that very Delta? Very Diet Coke? And I get it. I don't expect Diet Coke to put me on their gay pride float. I know they're going to put somebody they think is absolutely beautiful and stunning and is going to make the picture perfect. But listen, we're out here in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? I can string a sentence along. I can talk extemporaneously about anything. Don't you want me to talk about your blush? And the other thing about this that's so interesting is it's not just that I want it for free. It's that you're giving it out to all these other people for free and they're doing nothing with it. They're never talking about it. They're never product placing anything. And you're not giving it to me, and you know damn well I'll do it. I would sit every day during the pandemic and I would get in drag and I would go live and I would talk about, oh my gosh, isn't this an amazing product? I bought this here and look at this is MAC. This is Padma Lakshmi for MAC. Look at this lipstick. It's called Blue Blood. I paid for that full price. And that's the thing. A lot of these products that are by drag queens or sponsored by drag queens or whatever it is, teamed up with drag queens, I don't know why it wouldn't make its way here. I don't know why it wouldn't make its way to 4101 Lankershim Blvd, North Hollywood, California, 91602. Why would I'm confused. You're sending it to all these other people. I want the moisture whip lip. I want to know what that experience is, and I want everyone else to know. I want to know about the aldehydes in your perfume. I would love for other people to know about it. I want to know about your snack food. I want to know about I don't know, blurring my pores. I want to know about that, and I want to share it with other people. I'm literally buying all of these products as well. By the way, like so many products that come out that people are talking about, I hear them talk about it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy that, especially when I know it's a queer-owned company or a drag adjacent company. I am buying that stuff because I'd love to see that money go back into that. I feel like that's the whole idea. So I'm not saying like, I don't want to buy it, give it to me free. I'm saying if you're giving it to everyone else who's doing nothing with it, not even tagging you, not even putting out a video, not doing anything with it, why wouldn't you send it to the people that you know damn well are going to do that? It's bizarre to me that people still to this day, no matter what the platform was, like, oh, I used to love watching you go live during the pandemic. And then all of a sudden that evolved into a podcast with Raja. And then that evolved into a podcast / talk show featuring myself. And then people share videos, which I love and I support, and I'm so grateful for it. But it's weird to me that all of those people wouldn't jump over and follow me on social media, on Instagram or on TikTok. Not that I'm that active on TikTok, but you know, I'm active on Instagram. There's a little company, just the most sickening company that I can't wait to feature on the desk just because I love them so much. They're called Odette Perfume. They have sent me so many beautiful things, and because it's during the holiday season, I haven't had it out, but I want to have it out because I want you to see how much I believe in this. And I'm not saying that this is the platform for advertising everything. I'm saying if it's something personal to me, like a Luar bag, or it's going to be the fragrant, whatever it is that I want to feature. But in my regular social media day to day, I would love to talk about that stuff. I would love to share with people. Look at what a cool product this is. You can buy it too. Nobody wants to send me these PR packages. I'm stunned. And I'm watching and I'm like, that person got one? They can't even put they don't know the difference between a subject and a predicate. They think mascara and powder is the same thing. At least I'm assuming they think that because I'm looking at their makeup and that's all I can surmise. Where are the packages? I'm trying to hold the space. You know what I'm saying? Like where, you know, when Amazon says like a package has been delivered and then you're like, well, I don't see it. So maybe someone stole it or maybe it wasn't. And there's like no picture and they're like, show us the missing item. Here's the missing item. That's what it looks like. These PR packages are, hello, 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 hello. It's me. I'm waiting for a package from thee. Like, where is can I get a mascara? Are you serious? Do you look at me and think these pores are okay? You don't think they need to be blurred? Do you think the kunkes in the corner of my mouth, you don't think those need to go? You don't think I need more nails? But you think everybody else needs it. And I see, and this is the thing, the reason I know that they're getting it, right, is because they will post something. It'll just be like a picture of them like, oh God, I got a package from so-and-so. So yeah, I guess if you're into it, here it is. I mean, my God, I would show some gratitude. I would be excited. And even if the product was like, you know, maybe not exactly what I imagined it was going to be, I would find the things that are positive to talk about because I think there's something positive in everything, right? Maybe I really love the color. Maybe it's not doing exactly what it said for my skin, but it did also promise that this would be an effect in the color or in the formulation. I would find something positive to talk about. But I look out there and it's just nothing. There's like, what? Anything come for me today? Huh? Yeah, actually, there's a postcard to see if you're interested. Are you resident? Are you neighbor at 4101? That mail must be for you. But where's that Delta work care of? All this makeup, all these hair products, all these candles, all these cookies, all these cakes, all these baked goods. None? It's in New Year. You have 2025 to get it together. If I don't get your Pride PR packages by the time May rolls around, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. And I'm going to let people know that you are fat phobic. That's what it is. I believe that's what it is. Do you want to see me take a break and go check the mail? Because I think you want to see me take a break and go check the mail.
Ho, ho, ho.
Today's guest is beauty, class, and elegance. It is the legendary, from New York, Countess Luann.
Hi, Delta.
Hi, thank you for being here.
I love it. I love the studio.
It's fun. We come alive Halloween through like Valentine's Day.
Love it. All the best holidays.
Yeah, and then I just go into hibernation.
If this was Christmas and this was New Year's, I'd tell you to come and see me between the holidays.
I like that.
I felt inspired.
Yeah, you're literally on tour now. You're going on tour.
Yeah, the shows are going great. I love cabaret, right?
Right.
Like cabaret is personal stories,
Mhm.
right? About, my life, things you don't get to know from the housewives, right?
Mhm.
And so it's pop culture meets cabaret, meets comedy, meets a fashion show. Because I'm going to be wearing a lot of sparkling Jovani dresses for a holiday and for, just Countess Cabaret.
Well, that's what everyone relies on you for. We hear the song "Elegance is learned," and I think that it's absolutely true.
Sure.
Somebody has to lead by example, and then I always tell people like the movie in my mind. So I
Yes.
say to people like, if you believe that you're living in this
Right.
palatial thing, why wouldn't you treat yourself that way?
Exactly.
And so
That's
we
how I
look to
feel.
someone like you who leads by example.
Well, thank you. When I was growing up, I had great mentors in my life, and I don't think we have that today.
Mhm.
There's very few, right? People that have mentors. And for my life, it's helped me so much, right? For example, never be the last to leave the party, always be the first. Keep them guessing where you've gone.
Sure.
Now, the few times I've tried it, it works 100%, right? When you're interested in somebody, kind of make eyes at them, make contact, talk to them a bit, and then, gotta go. And, I failed a lot at that little trick, but the times that I did use it, it worked every single time, right?
Right.
It's about charm, right?
Yeah.
So elegance really is about respect for others, right? And being charming, walking with a smile on your face,
Mhm.
adding to the party and not taking away from the party, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you someone who likes observing people and watching how they move through life? Like, I'm one of those people that likes to sit at the airport and I imagine, what is happening here? Who are
Right.
these people?
Right.
And I think that's how I learn from
Yeah.
other people, because I think, look how effortlessly they moved through there. And just that little bit that you said now is something that I take, that I've never heard that.
Right.
Be the first person to leave.
Right.
But it leaves people wanting something.
Right, exactly. And I love to people watch too. And when I say elegance is learned, I mean that, like when I first went to an elaborate dinner party with the Count, there was silverware everywhere and glasses. And I was like, I watched the hostess and what she did in order to learn, like, how do I navigate this many utensils, silverware, glasses, which one do I pick up? And mentors leading by example. I was living in Europe for a long time. So it was like, oh, that's what I should wear. I mean, right? So coming from America, which can be, what's the day they call it Friday? Dress down Friday or
Oh, uh-huh.
right?
I know what you're talking
whatever Friday is the day to like let your freak flag fly. Like I really don't care what people wear. It's about how they wear it.
Mhm.
And it's about how they say it. Right. So that's what I mean about elegance is learned. And money and chic and all that, my music really comes from my book that I wrote, Class with the Countess, because I went to a producer and he goes, what do you want to sing about? I go, I don't know. I like to sing a lot of music. And I go, but I wrote a book. And he goes, well, let me see it. And he opens it up and I have takeout lines, which is, money can't buy you class. Elegance is learned, and this is how I started, writing for cabaret and writing my music. And then, chic, c'est la vie, gems, jets, silhouettes, and feeling Jovani. It all comes from, what's happening in my life.
Right.
And, Bethany said, life is not a cabaret. Well, it is for me.
Yeah.
We
and there's
write
no
our
reason why
own
it shouldn't
story,
be.
right?
And especially for you, because
And look at you, Delta. You've written a beautiful story for yourself. Look at you sitting here in, what looks like the wonderland of holiday and Christmas.
I like to consider it cheating for camera, right? I mean, if you just, again, it's that movie in your mind. I
Right.
mean, you have a little space, do the best with it
That's
you can.
right. And so you have.
Yeah,
So you
thank
have.
you. Again, life is a cabaret for
Right.
somebody who has been a showgirl for a very long time, and not
Mhm.
everybody understands that you
Right.
have.
Right.
It all fits together. Tell us about that, about being a showgirl.
Well, it's so funny you say that because the count used to say this to me all the time. You're such a showgirl. And, I started modeling in New York. Then all the models were talking about Milan and Paris, and I'd never been there. So I said, well, I want to go to Milan and Paris. And I fell in love with Italy specifically and the elegance. I mean, you can't get a bad espresso at a gas station or a bad sandwich for
Wow.
that fact, which they call a panini. Everyone, when they walk out the door, they're dressed for success, right?
Mhm.
Well dressed, well mannered. So I fell in love with Italy, and then I didn't do well as a model. So I wound up in television and became kind of the Vanna White of Italian television because I couldn't speak Italian. And then I realized if I could speak Italian, I could do really well here.
Mhm.
So I learned Italian, and I wound up hosting my own show on soccer. But through the years, I had to climb that ladder. I was a boom, boom, show girl on Italian TV shows. And then, I came back to the States after, marrying and having and through the years of Housewives, I wrote my music because I love to sing. And how I found cabaret is that a friend of mine said to me, Lou, you love to host parties, you love to sing for your friends, and you love to tell jokes. You should be doing cabaret.
Mhm.
And that's basically when I started.
I love that.
Mm.
I love that. Well, I think a lot of people connect to you when they watch you, because a lot of people hear this phrase like, this person, they don't care. They don't care. But I think the reality is the people they say that don't care or don't quote, they don't give a
Right.
when they say that, those are the people that really do care
Right.
and do give so many
Yeah, right.
as they say. And I think you do care.
Yeah.
You think about how you are perceived. I'm not saying that you are so involved in it that it makes you a shrinking violet.
No.
It just gives you power, and we see that.
Right. Well, yeah, absolutely. I've gotten to the point now, I mean, at this decade of my life where, I don't really care. It's taken me a long time
Right.
to not care what people think. I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
If I care what people think, I mean, I would have crumbled a long time ago.
Sure.
So I just do what makes me happy.
Right.
Right. And I take chances. I'm adventurous. I'm spontaneous, and I'm down to earth. Most people don't know that about me. I mean, I have done, I grew up with one of 7 kids in Connecticut from a small town, and people think that from the Housewives, I'm this countess that's unapproachable. But, I went to nursing school. I'm a nurse. And even though I live the lifestyle I do, I'm still a small town girl at heart. And that's why I think Crappy Lake was so good for us, that show. And now I have a new show coming out in 2025 called The Love Hotel,
Mhm.
first dating show for Bravo. So super excited about that. Got the call, like, Lou, what you looking for? I said, well, I want European or
Okay.
Latins, tall, handsome, with hair.
I don't think that's asking much.
I know.
I really don't.
And funny. I want somebody who's funny and who has a good sense of humor and doesn't take themselves too seriously, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, you want to find a guy for me? You want to pay me to go on a 3-week vacation? Sign me up,
Mhm.
right? So that's coming out in 2025, and I actually do find somebody that I like. I feel at this point I actually do live with my heart. We have more neurons in our gut than we do in our brain, right? Most
Mhm.
people don't know that. That's why it's called gut instinct, right? And gut instinct really tells you what to do. And then we go up here, and that's where the trouble starts, which is, oh, maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. Maybe I like him. Maybe I don't like her. You know what I mean? But this always tells us what to do. It's, it depends on how open we are to listening.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's one of my takeaways from you, and I feel like as I watch you is taking what you do
Mm.
seriously, but not
Yeah.
yourself.
No.
I think that's the balance.
Right. No, listen, cabaret is like, I tell people, you drive in a Toyota and you drive out in a Rolls Royce, because I put on a great show. I work really hard at it. And people come and they're like, oh my God, my director, Richard J. Alexander, came to my first show in New York, no pressure, doing my first cabaret, filmed for TV. And that's when Jovani happened, right? Jovani. And that's where that song came about. But he came to me and he goes, you know what, Countess, I was not expecting very much from you, but you blew my mind. First of all, you can sing. You are funny and you wear a dress like no woman I've ever seen. You're going to be a big cabaret star.
Yeah.
And I said, really? I was like, okay. And, and it grew. And it grew because I love what I do and
Yeah.
I'm passionate about it. Right.
Yeah.
And that's the trick really, is to love what you do and be passionate about it.
I love that.
I'm always working on myself, my music, making new music. Mary F. Kill. That came from my fans. I'm inspired by my fans because every cabaret show I would do a Q&A and they'd be like, all right, Countess, Mary F. Kill. And it's always the usual suspects, Harry, the pirate, or Tom. I'm like, why those three? I already married Tom. I already fucked the pirate. And I'd kill Harry. I'd rather a housewife.
Yeah. Wow.
Sonia Reed and her pretty kitty are always ready for action.
I want to play this game with you just because I know we're reaching the end of the Mary Kill, Mary Kill, Kill Mary. We're reaching the end of it. Emerald, Ruby, Diamond. What's the ranking
I'm
there?
going to marry the emerald because that's actually my birthstone.
Okay.
I'm a Taurus. I'm going to the diamond and kill the ruby.
Okay.
I'm not big on rubies.
No.
Not for rings.
What about Mary Kill, Elvis, James Dean, Michael Jackson? I know.
I'm going to marry Elvis because I love to be on the road with Elvis. I would love that. I'm going to, what was the Elvis?
James
Michael
Dean or Michael Jackson?
Oh, I'm going to James Dean.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to have to kill Michael Jackson.
It's hard.
Well,
when it's
he's gone already. So,
right.
Well, they're all gone, but that's true.
I mean, well, in the movie in my mind is that this is what I wonder. When people die, if we see them again, do we see them the way they looked when they were dead or the way we remember them best?
I think the way we remember them
That's
best.
what I think.
Yes.
I don't think you die and that's your ghost outfit forever.
Right.
I think there's a point where you get to pick an outfit.
Exactly.
Or you maybe be able to change.
Oh, and I'd love to try on all of Elvis's outfits. That's why I'm going to marry him.
Yeah. Have you ever had an Elvis type costume for yourself?
Oh, yeah. I have
gorgeous.
a blue suit and it comes way down low like this.
As it should.
And has feathers on the arms and on the legs. And it's sequin.
Beautiful.
It's fabulous.
That's beautiful. When you travel for your show, how many suitcases do you have to take?
I travel with just one big suitcase for my cabaret dresses and shoes and makeup go into a smaller suitcase. Well, I travel with a makeup artist. Luckily, I have a makeup artist that makes me look fabulous, Spencer Wells. And so two. I don't travel with a lot of suitcases.
Wow.
Well, I do have my suitcases for merch. The best selling thing that I have is my mugshot. People love to wear my mugshot.
Oh, I love.
I'm self-deprecating. You know what? Happened to me, hit the fan, and guess what? I rose like a phoenix from the ashes. That's what we have to do.
Yeah. Oh, no, absolutely. And better.
Viva la diva.
Do you ever watch other reality shows like Drag Race, or have you seen
Of
episodes of shows like that?
Of course. Carson Kressley is one of my besties.
Yeah.
I love Carson.
So what would be your drag name if you were going to do drag?
Well, Countess.
Oh, it has to be Countess. It has to be Countess, like the hats.
Right.
I love that. I love that.
I mean, keep on serving. Keep on serving.
Yeah. We have to continue this. Let's take a break. We are back with Countess Luann. I mean, I feel like a lot of conversations happen when we cut
Yes.
or when we go to break. And we were talking about the Suez Canal.
Well, people often ask me, how are you a countess, right? And I didn't pull it out of a Cracker Jacks box. The Lesseps were responsible for the Suez Canal, the Panama Canal, and were, French diplomats who gave the Statue of Liberty for the French to America. A lot of people don't know that. So, I use Countess in my shows because I was married for 16 years. And after 16 years, I deserve to keep that title.
I think so.
Because I always got a lot of flack from that, which is if any of those housewives were a countess, believe me, darling, they would hold on to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my ex never got remarried. So he's like, you'll always be my countess. So anyway, just wanted to add that tidbit, which people don't know about me. But I'm just a girl from Connecticut. I
Right.
grew up in a small town and went to nursing school and then found my way to Europe.
Yeah.
But, you got to be adventurous, right? You have to be not afraid to jump on the train when those doors open. Jump on. You can always go home.
Yeah.
Right? Don't be the guy left standing on the platform.
Well, and
yeah.
people also don't know that you speak 3 languages.
No, they don't know that. No.
Yeah.
I speak Italian because I lived in Milan. I speak French because I was married to a Frenchman, lived in Switzerland, and English fairly. And
Fairly.
and I want to learn how to speak Spanish. My Spanish is pretty good, but
Mhm.
so I'm inching up to 4 languages. I love languages. I have a musical ear, and that's why I love music,
Would you release a country song?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Lay down, Sally. Don't need to leave so soon. That's kind of country. It's Eric
I
Clapton,
love
but
that.
I love country music. But I take that song, and now, so I say to my director, Richard J. Alexander, who I mentioned earlier, and Brian Nash, my musical director, I say to them, I want to do Lay Down, Sally for Christmas.
Mhm.
And they're like, what? But it's now, lay down, Santa. No need to leave so soon.
Oh,
So
I
you see,
love
I take
it.
Christmas music and I kind of turn it on its head.
Yeah.
So that's what people can expect. Like you're going to hear, son, you got run over by a reindeer. Stumbling home from Bluestone Christmas Eve. You could say there's no such thing as Santa. But as for me and all the OGs, we believe.
I love it. And that's what makes
That's
it
just
fun.
a little taste of my holiday show.
That's how we get through the holidays too. I mean,
Yeah,
there's so
right.
many for a lot of people. Seeing family or friends happens around this time,
Yes.
and we love it. But then there's also those moments where you're like, "Oh God,
No
here comes this one
shit, I
again."
gotta sit next to
And
him.
that's the best way to get through it is with just laughing, having a good time, but hearing
Yeah.
a really good voice do it.
Right. And it's, listen, I'm an entertainer. It's not like I have the
Right.
best voice in the world, but I can sing. Like my director said, you can sing. And it's really it's all of those things put together. And also it's very inclusive, my cabaret shows, because I speak to the audience. We're either doing a Q&A or I'm playing Mary F. Kill, or we're doing a sing-along to Son, you got run over by a reindeer. And they'll be singing along with me because I'm going to do the big bouncy ball on the screen so they can all sing along with me, So it's very immersive.
Mhm.
I've had people come to my shows. They're like, I went to see Beyonce and Taylor Swift. And I had more fun at your show than any of the shows I've ever seen because you can't really talk to those people. You just can watch them, right?
Sure.
There's no rapport, right? With my audience, I have a rapport. It's like being in my living room and you're on my couch and I'm saying, let me sit down and entertain you. And that's how I started, which is, Lou, you love to sing, you love to, tell jokes, and you love to host parties. So that's really what I do. And but I've just taken it on a bigger scale.
Do you listen to any pop singers now or pop singers from back in the day?
I listen to a lot of pop songs. I sing, I cover Shania Twain. I cover Miley Cyrus. I cover, Bonnie Raitt, Stevie Nicks.
I mean, that's a huge variety.
Nancy Sinatra. His boots are made for walking. Oh, I love that song. And let's see, David Bowie.
Ooh, that's a huge variety.
Let's dance.
Yeah. And that always shows, like, when people say, "Oh, I love music," and then you only hear them say 2 or 3 people from one genre.
Their go-to karaoke.
Right. But then when you're talking about
A big span.
decades of music,
Right.
varieties of people.
Yes.
I mean, if you're talking about David Bowie and Bonnie Raitt,
Right. And Peggy Lee.
right. And also for some people they would say, "Oh, they're so different." Well, they're so similar because they're amazing storytellers.
Yeah. Well,
You
that's
know,
what I do.
And that's what you do.
I'm a storyteller. I'm a jokester. I love telling stories. I also cover Judy Garland,
Wow. Wow.
Forget your troubles. Come on, get happy. That kind of stuff.
What is the most Jovani feeling? What gives you that feeling? Say at the holidays.
Well, when you're dressed your best, there's something about sequins and jewels and glamour that I just love. So when I talk and speak about feeling Jovani, it's like feeling really good in your own skin,
Mhm.
whatever that means.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So let your freak flag fly is how I feel about it.
Would you feel Jovani at a testicle festival?
Oh, that's very hard to feel Jovani at
Is it?
Testicle Festival.
Tell me about it.
Oh, honey. Well, first of all, when we arrived at the Testicle Festival, there were people wearing underwear over their clothes, over the bottoms,
Mhm.
kind of situation. And they were eating fried bull's balls, which is otherwise known as Rocky Mountain oysters. And
Mm.
the aftertaste is pretty bad, I got to say.
Well, what is the beginning taste of testicles?
Well, it's like a bad fried chicken.
Mm.
Yeah, it starts out as a bad fried chicken, and then you go, it gets kind of worse.
One time I want to try testicles.
It's like gamey. And then they go, would you like to try turkey balls?
Wait, turkeys have balls?
That's what I said.
Stop.
Turkeys have testicles.
Are
I
they
had no idea.
inside or outside?
Well, you don't kind of see really well inside of a turkey
Right.
because they have feathers.
Yeah.
So they're on the inside.
Huh.
Yeah, bulls, balls, and I guess cows, they kind of hang down. Turkey is low to the ground, so you don't get to see the balls.
But so turkeys could technically do drag very easily.
That's
like they could
right.
conceal, they could fool people.
That's right. You would never know a turkey has
You
testicles.
Dirty turkey.
Dirty
I
turkey.
live for that. So the taste was not there, the aftertaste.
Well, the aftertaste is, let's call it gamey.
Is it I don't know how to even describe this. Is it like eating chicken or roast beef, or is it a different texture?
It's like fried oysters.
Okay.
It's like fried oysters. It's like fried tastes really good, and then it's like if you don't love oysters, it gets a bit gritty. And like I said, bulls, testicle festival balls are kind of gamey. Game on.
What would you say the way would be like? Say you went to someone's home and they served food that you couldn't even stomach the taste. How do you get through that? Like, how do you just move it to the side? Do you?
Well, I generally would hide it, move it to the side, hide it behind some other piece of food.
Yeah.
Just kind of push it around, play with it a little bit. Pretend you're chewing more than you
Right.
actually are chewing.
Right.
Yeah. So pretend you're participating in
Yeah.
the act of eating, but you're really not. You're just pushing your food around your plate.
We were talking earlier about like when someone has a product that they give you, like a PR product, and
Right.
and maybe you're not 1,000% behind it. So I always try to find something positive to say. What's the positive takeaway? And I feel like that, like with food. I mean, if
Yeah,
you're at someone's
that-
home,
Well, the positive thing to say is, thank you so much.
right, right,
Thank you. And then hide it.
and then
Hide it out of sight. Right?
your book, Class with the Countess: How
Yeah.
to Live with Elegance and Flair, I would hope is not going to be your last book.
No. I do have to write. I have so many stories to tell. It's just,
Exactly.
and I tell them in my cabaret shows, and they're only stories that you would hear at my shows. Because, Housewives, it's a couple minutes of your
Sure.
life on TV, and people think they know you. But there's so much more to me that people don't know. And that's why I love cabaret, because I get to tell these stories, right? So, a book, I just feel like the timing's not right. I feel like I have so much more life to live. And, but I do want to write a book someday.
Yeah.
I do.
I think I could see. I mean, we all want it. We're all waiting. We all want to hear it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It would
Because
be-
we're able to live vicariously through other people and also learn how to respond in situations. That's
Right.
really the takeaway.
Right. Like, there was a show in New York, it was off-Broadway show, and celebrity autobiography.
Mhm.
And it was great, which is you get to read a page out of someone else's biography.
Okay.
So I read out of Suzanne Summers' poetry book.
Oh, I know the book. I have the book. I know the book.
So it is hysterical. So I read a poem, which was like ridiculously funny. And then Jackie Hoffman, the comedian, read the chapter on how to get rid of an olive pit at a cocktail party. And it was hysterical. Jackie Hoffman's face is
Right.
like,
Right.
I mean, so she's like, how did I get rid of this thing? And, it's literally, just drop it in a cocktail napkin and throw it away.
Right.
But people are like, okay, well, now it's in my hand. What do I do with it now?
Right. I feel
Either
like
that or, put it in your purse. I mean, something like that.
What's your favorite kind of purse to carry at a cocktail party? Do you like a clutch? No purse?
I like a clutch.
You like a clutch?
You know why? You could just put it under your arm and you have two
Mhm.
hands available.
Exactly. Exactly.
Otherwise, you have a chain, it's falling off. crossbody isn't really that chic.
No.
We love it for moving around town, but not for a cocktail party. And so, yeah, I like a good clutch.
Would you ever buy a cosmetic item from the Dollar Tree?
Why not? Even countesses love a bargain.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly.
I like Maybelline. I'll go to the pharmacy and buy Maybelline lipstick.
Mhm.
The long-lasting one are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Do you have like a product that you recommend to people, a splurge product that you can't go without?
My Chanel all over body spray.
Okay.
It's the best. You can spray it all over your body. Take care of these and take care of that too.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. That's why it's called all over body spray. And it smells so good. It's Chanel No. 5. It's classic.
I love that.
It's
Is that
fabulous.
your signature fragrance or do you have several?
It is. No, I wear Chanel. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No. 5 is my go-to. I have other fragrances, but I like that one the best.
I love that. I love that.
True.
I love. Do you wear fragrance to bed?
It depends who's in my bed.
Who deserves the fragrance when you're in bed?
Um,
Somebody from Charleston or somebody from London?
or European in general.
European in general.
Mhm.
When you travel or when any of us travel, what's the takeaway? What's a flirting technique that we can use besides leaving the party early?
Oh, there's so many. So, this is not a travel one, but I have that one too, which is you have to hang out in the area where the toilet is,
Oh,
because eventually he's going to have to go to the bathroom, isn't he?
okay. Okay.
And that's when you strike up a conversation.
Is near the restrooms.
Yeah.
Now,
That's a
what
great one.
about in a hotel? Would it be like the hotel bar, a
Hotel bar.
restaurant?
Hotel bar, generally, restaurant, once you check in, you're sitting by yourself. It's hard to meet somebody unless you know that Hugh Grant's going to be there. Because in the Hamptons, I found out that Hugh Grant was at one of my favorite restaurants. So I called the owner and he says, okay, I'll put you at the table next to me. So I went to Pierre's in Bridgehampton with my family and we sat right next to Hugh Grant's table. And I told him, put me right behind Hugh Grant. So sitting next to Hugh Grant, behind him. And so I did this. I did one of these. I pushed my chair back really fast and I hit his chair. And I turned around. I went, oh, I'm so sorry. And we started talking. And he goes, I know you and Andy Cohen. He's a friend of Andy Cohen. And so I bumped his chair and I felt so bad. Of course, I felt terrible. So I had to get him a shot. And I did. And before you know it, he was sitting at our table. And we were making out heavily. And my brother's like, I cannot believe you're making out with Hugh Grant right now. I was like, neither can I. Anyway, you have to be creative.
Was he a good kisser?
Very good kisser.
Really?
Yeah. Very
Really?
cute. I've always had a crush on Hugh Grant. And of course, Richard Gere was my sweetheart when I was, years ago.
And what about now? Like, what if you ran into both of them now?
No, now my new crush is Miles Teller.
Okay.
Love
Okay.
Miles Teller. And Bradley Cooper too. And so many.
But not Michael Jackson.
No, I'm boy crazy. That's true.
You are, but that's
It's
great. I mean, why
I'm
not?
always in trouble with a boy. On the show, think about it. You see me get divorced, get married again, divorced again, have some minor legal issues. And then Jacques, and I'm always, and Tom was trouble. I mean, I'm thinking most recently, the pirate, of course. Can't forget about the pirate. And then of course I'm the only one that got laid on the Ultimate Girls Trip.
See, I love it. I feel like when doing drag for me is like I just get inspired by women and different kinds of women and different
Right.
kinds of experiences.
Mhm.
And you really live your life as a woman, a
Mhm.
lady, a girl,
And abroad.
a countess, abroad.
I'm abroad.
All of those things, and you can be all of those things,
Right.
and that is just so it's not you trying to do that. Those
No.
are just what come out in the moment.
That's right. Well, I consider myself kind of a Renaissance woman. I really
Yeah.
kind of know how to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Right. And because I think what makes you interesting is to be interested in a lot of things.
Uh-huh.
Right.
I think so.
I think
yeah.
the more interests you have, the more you want to learn. Because the minute you think you're ripe, you're already rotten, is one of my favorite lines.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, it's
Say it
good.
again.
The minute you think you're ripe, you're already rotten, right? We never
I love
know
that.
enough. We can never learn enough, And
Yeah.
I'm a sponge. That's why I love languages. I love people. I'm a people lover. I was a nurse, so you have to love people to be a nurse, I think.
I think so. I think that's true. Let's take a break. We are back with Countess Luann. Now, this is the part of the show we call Read Me Delta. People will send in letters. If you want to send in a letter, you can send it to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can have questions, queries, limit the comments because some people get a little nasty. But sometimes they want advice or they're just in a predicament.
Read me, Delta!
I feel like I'm on Jimmy Fallon. Right? Love letters.
Love letters.
Love letters.
I mean, actually, we've never had really a love letter here. We have had people write in and say how much they don't like the set or what needs to be improved.
Well, let them do better.
Yeah. Dear Delta and bona fide guest, I'd love to hear your thoughts about some not very Delta or not very Countess Luann sayings about people going to the bathroom, such as, I need to tinkle. I got to go to the little girl's room.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go potty. I got to go number 1 or number 2. Where's the crapper? Nature calls. I feel you would have some that you find annoying as well, especially if they are used in a baby voice when they say some of them. I'd like to start using more very Delta or more very Countess words in the bathroom. Lavatory, loo, perhaps latrine.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your consideration. Sincerely, very Wyatt from Ohio. Is there a thing that you say or you don't like?
I think I have to go to the restroom. It just covers all the bases, right?
I think so.
Right?
Yeah.
It's, elevated. It's, there's so many slang ways. I hate when people say, or guys, I got to take a piss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm dead. Mary F. Kill. That's a killer.
Right.
The marrying type. Okay. Mary F. Kill. Restroom. Toilet. Or I got to take a piss.
Oh, well, we have to marry restroom.
Right.
We have to toilet and maybe in a toilet, like in a bathroom somewhere.
I like it.
And then kill the
take
piss.
A piss.
It's not even, it's like you're going out of your way to be gross.
Right.
Right.
But I've heard men say this. I got to take a piss. Or I got to take a leak.
Have you heard a lady say, well, we would never hear a lady say that.
No. Thank God.
I mean, tinkle sounds like a doll. Like a doll would say that. I have to tinkle.
Yeah.
That sounds like a little baby doll.
Personally, I like to say, I have to go to the toilet.
I like that. I think that's
I like
nice.
French. Yeah.
I think that's nice.
In Italian, it's bagno. Devo andare a bagno.
Have you ever found yourself in like a really unusual situation and you're like, I can't find a restroom and I need to go to the restroom? And you've had to just...
Many.
Really? And what do you do in that situation?
Well, in my case, I was on a snowmobile.
Okay.
In a snowsuit.
Okay.
So you have to zip it all the way down.
Right.
And unfortunately the zipper was stuck.
So you couldn't return the snowsuit.
No, the snowsuit was steaming. It was cold out.
They say never trust the yellow snow. That's what they say.
That's right. Don't eat the yellow snow.
Yeah, don't eat it. Don't eat it.
I was 12.
Oh, well, that's fine.
I was 15.
At 12.
Or maybe 15. I was driving a snowmobile, so I was probably 15.
I was 35, but it doesn't matter. As I say, nature calls.
Nature calls.
Yeah, I don't know if you're...
Are you talking about a golden shower? No. Okay. So.
Well, we could talk about that as well. I mean, I hold the space for whatever makes people happy as long as everyone's consenting. I say go for it. I don't want to participate, but...
No, me neither.
Yeah.
Let's
you
drop
can keep that.
Let's,
Unless it got really raw.
Let's kill that.
And we were really... I guess we could kill...
Let's kill that.
But what if it got... I don't want to do that.
No.
We'll save it.
Let's not go there.
You don't want to go there?
Do you? I'm going to let you decide.
We do have a show called Delta After Dark, which is still in development. So,
I like that.
Yeah.
I like Delta After Dark.
Okay. Dear Delta and Countess, I'm in a new relationship and it's great. In fact, the fornication is amazing. However, when my man reaches his climax, there's no noise. He goes mute. I don't understand this. During sex, there's plenty of moaning and grunting, but when he releases, it's crickets. No warning, no moan, nothing. Here's my question. What are your thoughts on people who do not vocalize when they orgasm? Personally, I want to hear the moaning and the vulgar dialogue. Should I ask him to vocalize while ejaculating? What is your stance on this? Hugs and kisses. Forever yours. Ishmael Hooter.
Okay.
Okay.
For me, I think I'm just happy the guy's orgasming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Noise, no noise. At least the guy can get it up. That's how I feel.
Yeah. I think that's one thing I think you can't stipulate. It's
No,
like saying I don't
like
like the way you sneeze.
I was just going to say the same thing. We're on the
Right?
same page. You know, some people sneeze 3 times. Do you know those people?
Right. Have you ever just burped out of nowhere?
Oh, for sure.
And what do you do? Just
I
say,
say,
excuse me?
pardon.
Yeah.
Pardonnez-moi.
Pardon?
Pardon. It's as simple as that.
It's simple.
Same for when you know.
When you toot.
When you toot. Thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to say passing gas, but tooting is better.
What's the grossest term for that, you think?
Fart.
That does sound ugly.
Fart is ugly. I mean, I'll give you a great example. So, butterfly is a beautiful word in the English language. In French, it's papillon. In Italian, it's farfalle. And in German, it's Schmetterling. So,
right.
You see? So, fart's the same. You know, it's in French, it's pété.
Mm-hmm.
And toot.
Mm-hmm.
Toot. And, you know, what else did we say? I can't remember. Who wants to talk about farts in any case?
Well, you know, I do. Because have you ever been on an airplane and you know someone is just going to town and you're stuck in
Sonia Morgan. Sorry, I have to call her
She
out.
blows out the...
Oh, honey, she's got... And she will admit she's a gassy girl.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. Does it have anything to do with... Is it onions or what is it do you think she's eating that's causing the problem?
Well, maybe too much...
Roughage.
Crudité.
Mm-hmm.
Crudité will do it to you every time.
Mm-hmm.
Brussels sprouts, well known.
Right.
They have to be cooked really well.
They do, and also beans. If you soak your beans,
cauliflower. Let's not forget
Yes.
cauliflower. That is our arch enemy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that makes me think. The cauliflower, the beans.
Did you have that before you got here?
I didn't.
Okay.
No, I wanted to make sure that I was a clean team before I got here. I wanted to be sure because I had my guest here.
Oh, darling. He's
but
smelling very good. That was just a little joke.
But do you know how to make a fart noise?
No. Do you?
I mean, I think you do. If you were auditioning for something and somebody said, make a fart noise for us,
Okay.
like what would it sound like? Kind of, yeah. Have you ever done this one?
Oh.
Do that. Pinch your cheeks if you do it.
Okay.
And then there, that's it. That's it. You know what they call that? A wet one. Oh! See, we don't need to talk like this. You came here. You're so classy. So elegant.
But I did grow up with 4 older brothers. So
okay.
Believe me, I mean, I had to deal with a lot of
right
kind of stuff.
Right.
They used to like tackle me and toot on my head.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're boys. Boys want to annoy their sisters, don't they?
Yeah.
They just want to annoy their sisters.
But I also think for you, because you are traveled and you've been around so
well,
many
that's
different...
when I was a kid. I mean,
right.
But obviously they're not doing that anymore because, you know, I did become a countess. So now they're careful when they toot in front of me.
But because you are traveled...
Finally, I've gotten some respect.
Finally, it took this long.
It took, 50 years to get some respect.
I feel like, have to hold the space
right.
for when you meet people from other cultures and the way that they do things.
Mm-hmm.
It's just something, again, that elegance that's learned is
exactly
just saying, this is how it's done here. Maybe I don't do it this way, but this is how it's done, and I'm going to act unaffected.
I've got a favorite.
Okay.
I just thought of one. So I'm at a dinner party. So my father-in-law was ambassador to Monaco for 40 years. So, my husband grew up around Princess Grace and, Albert. And so anyway, of course, they had very kind of elaborate dinner parties. I'm talking about in Europe and Switzerland. And so we have a guest that comes who's American.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say names, doesn't matter. And he's eating across from my father-in-law. And the table's very narrow. And this is a man who's very regal, French ambassador, okay? And he's talking to him, and he has his fork like this in his hand, holding it like this. And his elbows perched on the table. And he's got his fork, and there's a piece of meat on the fork. And he's having a conversation. He's like talking to him like this. I'm like, I'm going to kill him. Because he doesn't realize that you don't have a conversation with somebody with meat on your fork like this, with your hand like this on the table. I was like, certain things are pet peeves. That's one of them, right?
Right.
You got to put your fork down. When you're done talking, then you can pick up your fork, right? But
Right.
it's like, but I've seen people do that. It drives me crazy.
Well, it's interesting to see people also that that I think they'll be eating and they will never set the fork down. Like, it's okay to eat and set your fork down and chew and then go
Right.
back to it. Like,
Right,
it's okay to
exactly.
do that.
Yeah.
But again, culturally, I know everyone's different, but you're talking about somebody who culturally should have known, especially in that.
Right. Well, elegance is learned, my friends. I mean, that's where that part
And
comes
wasn't learned at that point.
from. It was learned because I schooled them.
Well, good. I mean, that's what we do.
I do that because I don't want people to be, I don't want, not even embarrassment. I don't want people to be called out because of one thing they don't know.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want them to be judged because they're good people. They just don't know.
Right.
You know, you don't know until you're told, right?
Right.
You don't know certain things like, you know, you don't keep going to the butter dish. You take a chunk of butter and you put it on your plate. That's what a bread plate's for.
Right.
You don't keep going back to the butter plate. You take some butter on your plate.
No, it's true. I mean, I think there's so many situations too where
So many.
these conversations that we have privately and we say, you know, I don't know that you don't know this, you know,
Exactly.
I want you to understand.
Right.
That this is
We're not
just
wanting you to be
right.
people to think otherwise of you. You know
Right.
what I mean?
I get if we're sitting in the bleachers eating hot dogs, this is a different storyline.
Of course.
It's a different situation.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Right.
you know, things you can pick up with your fingers. There's a whole list.
Right.
Right.
I always understand if somebody has an emergency, but I feel like blowing your nose at the table is just not appropriate. Like I get that there's an emergency, but you could excuse yourself.
Well, it also depends how you blow your nose.
When people are just like grabbing a cloth napkin.
Oh, that's the worst.
I've seen it.
Me too. And then they put the napkin in the plate. And somebody
Mhm.
from who's working in the restaurant has to pick up the napkin that they blew their nose in.
Right.
But I was thinking of another one that really drives me crazy, which is when they blow their nose in the shower in their hands.
Ew. Do you know what a farmer snot is?
No.
Like a rocket, a snot rocket. You put your finger here,
God, no.
and then use all your pressure to blow it out that way.
Or people that spit on the street.
Now that I really don't understand. I really think
but a lot of people do.
They do.
In New York City, a lot of people spit on the street. Guys, dudes in particular. I haven't seen them.
I just don't get it. And it's like they do it over and over and over, like it's a habit.
Well, and it's a nasal spit on the street. It's one of those.
Do you think they
Why are we having this conversation?
Do you know what I'm talking about when they draw the mucus up in their nose?
Let's talk about jewelry.
You know what that sound is?
What?
The sound of that drawing up.
Delta.
Have you ever had allergies?
Delta, time out.
Thank you for being
We
here.
could
This
go
is so
on
fun.
with bad manners all day long. I
We
love
could.
it.
That's why I want to learn.
Right, but elegance is learned, my friend Delta.
Thank you for being here. I know you have a
It's
lot
been
going on.
So much fun. Thank you for
It's
having
so
me.
fun.
And happy holidays. And I will see you at a very Countess Christmas one
You
night.
will. I love that. Thank you all so much for listening and watching Very Delta. Our show comes out every Monday. Subscribe to Mom Podcast YouTube channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss an episode. Search for Very Delta on your favorite podcast apps to listen to the audio-only version if you can't handle all of the elegance in front of you. You can also sign up for our premium offerings on Mom Plus Gold by visiting mompodcast.plus, where you get weekly episodes of more Very Delta. Don't forget to send all of your questions to readmedelta@gmail.com. You can follow me on Instagram at DeltaWork. And where can people find you on social media?
They can go to CountessLuann.com for all my touring dates.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see you there.
And we'll see you next week. And until then, keep things very merry, Delta. Very Delta is produced by Moguls of Media, aka Mom. Hosted by Delta Work. Produced and edited by Doug Robertson. Technical direction by Margot Padilla. With original theme music by Will Pitts. Media and design support by Stone Cold. And set design by Eris Sevilla. Executive produced by Alaska, Willem, Big Dipper, Camille Stennis, and Joe Cilio. Recorded at Forever Dog Productions. Would you pose in a magazine nude?
Well, no. Well, yes, I would.
Mom!
To listen to Very Delta ad-free, one day early, and to get access to more Very Delta and all of Mom Podcast's premium content, check out Mom Plus Gold at mompodcast.plus.